Hi, and welcome to yet another installment of Google Truth or Lies. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Google serving results and from Google Search Central and the claims that Google makes on their own basic "This is how ranking works" page. And we're going to see what there is truth and what there is lies so that you can rank better. This show is put out by Underground SEO University. If you want to find out the scientific proof based on everything I'm saying here and how to test the algorithms to dominate any niche, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. So let's get to the truth or lies. Okay, so I'm looking at the advanced SEO section. You should definitely read the beginner SEO section if you're a beginner to SEO. I'm looking at the advanced SEO section, and I'm skipped ahead right to serving results and how to improve your serving. Now you might be wondering, what the heck does that mean? Why do I want to serve stuff, Josh? I don't want to run a server. I'm not in networking. I want to rank better. I want to sell affiliate stuff. I want to whatever. I want to make more money online. I want to sell affiliate stuff. Okay, don't worry. I gotcha. Serving means ranking. When Google says serving, they mean ranking here. So let me show you. So here on this page, we have crawling, indexing, and serving, aka ranking. How they serve a document. They crawl documents, they index documents like web pages, but also PDFs, text files, things like that. And then they serve them up to users when they search. So as they say here, when a user enters a query, our machines search the index for the matching pages and return the results we believe are the most relevant for the user. Now, here is a key word for today: relevant and relevancy. That is the ranking factors. That is the thing that you want to be. You want to be relevant. You need to be relevant. In fact, you need to be the most relevant for any particular search. So when Google says relevancy, that's what you want to be. That's definitely true. And they say that relevancy is determined by hundreds of factors, and we always work on improving our algorithm. There's two claims there. Relevancy is determined by hundreds of factors. I'd say probably false. As far as I could tell through scientific testing, they've greatly reduced the factors that they use to rank in many ways. Artificial intelligence is doing a lot of the heavy lifting for them. But this claim is definitely true. This is true in spades. They are definitely always working on improving their algorithm. So here's the first tips that they just blatantly start saying when we're talking about Google tips in plain sight. Here they are. Here's where they start for serving results. Google considers the user experience in choosing and ranking results. So be sure that your page loads fast, and they give you the page speed tools here to play with, and is mobile friendly. So the UX, again, Google considers the user experience. What is the user experience? Again, the user experience is the design, the layout, the elements that are provided, and of course the content, the text. There's some people out there that say that you just need to worry about the text for SEO and you don't have to worry about the design at all. Is that true or false? Survey says false, quite false. You do have to worry about the design. You do have to make sure you're providing the best user experience amongst everybody else on the SERP. What exactly does that mean? How do I make the best user experience, Josh? Join SEO University and we will show you scientifically what it is you need to do. It's a huge ranking factor, and if you ignore it, you're definitely not going to be ranking very well. To join SEO University, again, just email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com or email me and ask me any SEO questions. Ask me for the proof. If you want to talk about anything I say on the show, go ahead, email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com. So Google definitely considers user experience. That's true in choosing and ranking results. So in choosing what they're going to index, it even has to, crawling and indexing is even a matter of having a strong ranking signal. Are you having trouble getting Google even indexing your content? That means that your ranking factors are low. Ranking factors are also indexing factors. We've scientifically tested and proven this. So if you're having trouble getting Google even indexing your page, that could very well mean, and probably likely means, you're spammy. You have a lot of spam, negative kind of signals around your pages, and or they are not very, very relevant at all. Google can't tell what the page is relevant for. That's a huge, huge, huge piece of information that no one else in the industry talks about, and you definitely need to pay attention to. What else do you need to pay attention to? Let's check. So also you make sure it loads fast. Okay, great. It's mobile friendly. Okay, great. And so definitely those three things you need to watch out for. And now also you say, well, how do I improve my serving, Google? How do I improve my ranking? That's what serving means. And this is the ways they say here you need to do it. And they give you kind of a top level synopsis here, and then we're going to get deeper into the guidelines they're about to talk about which there's a lot of them, and I won't cover all of them this episode. I'll be covering them in subsequent episodes after this one. But they say, first off, there are many ways to improve how Google serves the content of your page, aka how they rank you. If your results are aimed at users in specific locations or languages, you can tell Google your preferences. So you can go into Search Console, you could tell them what areas you're supposed to be ranking for, what languages you're supposed to be ranking for. Also, they can tell, Canadian, they know about me, haha. They know about different areas based on the language you're using, etc., etc. So you can read that and tell how to do that. And is it true that you should do this if you want to rank for different areas? The answer is definitely yes. That's definitely true. 100%. They say to be sure your page loads fast and is mobile friendly. That's the second time they've said that. So clearly they want that to be done. However, is it a major ranking factor if your page is not mobile friendly and or loads fast? Is it a major ranking factor? Sorry, that's false. It's not a major ranking factor. It'll maybe get you 1 spot, 2 spots at best. Of course, those 1 or 2 spots could be the spots you need. So it is a ranking factor. So it's definitely true you need to pay attention to it. But it's not a major ranking factor. It's nowhere near as big a deal as Google makes out on this page, to mention it so many times. Okay, the next one here is a little sentence that actually has huge ramifications. Follow the Webmaster guidelines to avoid common pitfalls and improve your site's rankings. I just want to say, so that's what these Webmaster guidelines are here. That's what I'm going to go over in future episodes, because there's tons of Google tips hiding in plain sight through this the entire document, especially in these guidelines. If you are any kind of advanced SEO, you've read this. But if you are a creme de la creme SEO, if you are the top level SEOs, you definitely need to do scientific experiments to test whether these wild Google claims are just public relations smoke or if they're actually trying to help people rank. So don't be tricked here. You've got to pay attention through science what is actually true and what is not. And if you don't know how to do the scientific testing, I'll teach you. Join the Underground SEO University. Email me at joshpachynski@gmail.com and I can get you a discount to join. But as I said, so following the Webmaster guidelines avoids 2 things that I want to mention here. Avoid common pitfalls. There's 2 things I want to mention here. To avoid common pitfalls, but also to improve your site's ranking. So there's 2 things there. Avoiding common pitfalls and improving your site's ranking. So that would imply the claim that there are both negative deranking factors, avoiding those pitfalls, and improving your site's or search ranking. There's positive boosting factors. So the claim is, and many other SEOs say this, and this is a common, Google has said this right here, they're implying it, and other SEOs have said it, that there are negative deranking factors that'll bring you down, that'll reduce your rankings if you do them or they're done to you. And there are positive factors that you could do or if they're done to you that will boost you. Is that true? And the answer is on both definitely yes. That's definitely true. There are factors that will derank you. There are over-optimization penalties, special new ones that have come out with this new artificial intelligence. They've gotten so good at detecting what is spammy and black hat and what they think is beyond their guidelines that they can and they will nab you for them. So you need to join SEO University to find out what these over-optimization pitfalls are. I guarantee to you, they are mean, they are nasty, they are easy to make. 90% of the SEO world is being de-optimized right now because of these rather egregious, in my opinion, quite frankly, over-optimization penalties. They're on page, they're off page, they're other things that are all going to nab you and all going to derank you in ways you might not even realize that Google was looking at are possible. So if you want to know what those are, by all means, I'll tell you. Join SEO University, and we have a full course on these things so you can maximize your boosting and your competitors can get deranked. Not only will you gain 5 or 6 spots, they will lose 5 or 6 spots. It could be the difference of page 2 and page 1. It's that important. So join SEO University, email me at joshpachynski@gmail.com, and I'll show you. So the claims that does Google have deranking algorithms? Bing, definitely yes. And do you also need to have algorithms that will boost you as well? That's definitely true as well. So watch out for that. Okay, so as I said a couple of seconds ago, we're going to talk about the Webmaster guidelines in a second, but let's just continue on with these. The next one here to improve your serving is consider implementing search results features for your site, such as recipe cards or article cards. All right, well, and these are also featured snippets, different kinds of, special kind of search products that they have and featured snippets and stuff like that. So that's all interesting. However, the claim is, will this really improve your serving? Will this really improve your rankings? And sadly, the answer is no. No, it's not. This is a common trick that SEOs fall for. They think that they're going to get better rankings from installing schema, installing special markup that they think is going to help boost them. We've scientifically tested this, and this is false. This is not the case. This is not going to help you rank. This is not. It might help you get click-through if and only if you're already ranking, but that's not helping you rank higher. That just might help you get a few more clicks, which is important. You want as many clicks as you can get, but it's not going to boost you up. So first you need to boost, then you need to, optimize, right? You need to optimize the boosting to rank higher at the highest. You should rank number 1. All my students who want to and put in the effort and stick around long enough, they all rank number 1. We have the proof and tactics through science to do that. Pick a niche. We can rank number 1 in it. I'm not saying it'll be cheap and I'm not saying it'll be easy, but we can do it. We have the scientific knowledge. I 100% guarantee to you, we have the scientific knowledge. So if you're having trouble ranking number 1 and you want to learn some new tricks that no one else talks about, join SEO University because we have them. Email me today at joshpaczynski@gmail.com for your discount. But ranking is one thing, and then optimizing that ranking so you have the full featured snippet with the site links and the image on the side and a special thing. Our tactics are so good at SEO University that our brand entities, our websites can become synonymous with sales queries. You type in a sales query and you get a full site with a full site links as if they typed in like joshpaczynski.com and gotten the full site links and site snippet. We can do that for sales queries. And so anyone who's been in the SEO game for a long time realizes how big a claim that is and how important that is. You want the proof? I'd love to prove it to you. Please email me at joshpaczynski@gmail.com and I can send you the proof when you join SEO University. Okay, so the claim, if you implement these search features, will this improve your serving? I'll have to say this is false. It won't improve your ranking. It'll improve how you're served up on Google. That's true. Google. That's why you use the word serving here and not ranking, of course. It's not going to help you be shown higher in the search results. Here's a little thing they don't tell you, and we've scientifically tested, and I think a lot of SEOs know this is true as well. They're not going to give you the featured snippet if you're not already ranking very, very highly. So you need to rank very, very highly no matter what you do, and putting featured snippet schema or a different kind of markup in your page with the hopes of getting a featured snippet is not going to help you in any way unless you are already ranking highly. So you need to rank highly no matter what. It doesn't really matter. All right, and finally, we have implement AMP for faster loading pages on mobile devices. Some AMP pages are also eligible for additional search features, such as the top stories carousel. Will this help you rank higher in Google? Survey says false. Sorry, we've scientifically tested it. And AMP does not have any kind of special ranking boost or have any kind of special ranking increased power or anything like that. So definitely this is not going to improve your rankings if anybody thinks that. And there's a lot of people in the SEO industry who think that that's the case. And finally, Google's algorithm is constantly being improved. Rather than trying to guess the algorithm and design your page for that, work on creating good, fresh content that users want and following our guidelines. Okay, so that's very interesting. They're saying something here very interesting. One, they're saying they're constantly improving the algorithm, and we know, we're scientifically testing it. We know exactly when something changes. And rather than trying to guess the algorithm and design your page for that, instead of working on trying to chase the algorithm, as they say in the SEO, you should just make good content or something like that. Is that true or false? Should you chase the algorithm in SEO? And the answer is, we've scientifically tested this, and is that a truth or a lie? Should you chase the algorithm? And the science says, bing, yes, of course. You need to chase the algorithm. You have no choice. If you want to rank number 1, if you've been hired as an SEO to make a page rank higher, ostensibly in the top 3, is that what they aim for these days in SEO? Top 5? Is that what they settle for these days in SEO? I've been doing SEO for over 20 years. We always used to settle for number 1. That's all we settled for, was number 1. Ask any old SEO who's been in this with gray hairs in their beard for a long time. What'd you guys settle for in 2005? Number 1, obviously, and only number 1. In fact, number 1 and then a bunch of other spots underneath it because we dominated the SERPs. And in SEO University, we still dominate the SERPs. And that way we're old school and that it's like, yeah, Google. This is what our job is, to dominate these search results. However, there's a great suggestion in there, and that what Google says is that, is there a price to being on the bleeding edge? And of course, yes, there is. I'll give you an example. It doesn't work anymore, so don't do it. You will de-rank yourself. Do not do what I'm about to say. However, years ago, Google opened up a hole in their algorithm. This is before even it was BERT, before even the AI. It was still vector. And Google opened up the algorithm, and you could have multiple H1s on your page, and each H1 boosted you separately. It was plus 2 points. We had a point system. So keywords in the H1 were worth 2 regular top 100 keywords. So if you had 10 H1s on your page with the EMQ in it, you were boosted times 20, right? And so we were getting 10 spot boost, 8 spot boost from this tactic, and we just had H1s down the page, and you could CSS it to not look like that if you want. And we were ranking hand over fist. It was Mardi Gras. We were going crazy. It was Christmas. We were going nuts. But this is the problem of playing on the bleeding edge. You would be surprised as to how much the search engineers at Google are just playing around. They're just tweaking things and trying things, and sometimes the H1 boosts and sometimes it doesn't. Yes, I just said that. Sometimes the H1 boosts and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the title tag boosts, sometimes they take it away. Sometimes bold tags boost, sometimes they demote, right? Google does this. We have scientifically tested this. I guarantee you, I'm promising you, my friends, Google does this. Sometimes the I tag boosts, sometimes the EM tag demotes. Sometimes they flip it, that the EM tag boosts and the I tag demotes. I think they do it just to fuck with us, to tell you the truth. And when I talked with Matt Cutts, who used to run that team a few years ago, he confirmed it. He said, yeah, we have algorithms we just do to screw with SEOs. He kind of snickered and laughed. I laughed because I was kissing his ass at the time, but I was like thinking inside my head, thanks, jerk. Way to go. So that's kind of the problem of living on the bleeding edge, in that they do flip these things around. Do you honestly believe the claim from Google that it literally takes 2 to 3 weeks for the files to FTP out to all their data centers around the world? Do you honestly believe that? You think their backbone, the internet backbone, is that slow? No, it doesn't. That's so false. That's the most false thing I've ever heard in my life. No, it's because they fuck up. And we've watched this scientifically. We've measured this. They make a release. We see the ranking things change. They pull it back. The rankings go back to the way they were. They make a release. All of our tests change in a little way that was related to the original change. They tweak it. They don't like it. They pull it back. They tweak it again. They release it. I don't like it. The results are not good. They pull it back. That's why they screwed it up. And they don't want to admit they screwed up and that they're just releasing something, seeing how they like it, pulling it back. Sometimes they pull it back and they never release it again. We know this because we have all the canaries in the coal mine. We have all the scientific tests running. Our scientific measurements could detect dark matter. All right, we can detect down to the nth degree when Google makes the tiniest little change on any conceivable ranking factor. And so we know these things. You can chase the algorithm, but the claim that Google takes 2 or 3 weeks to make these updates is total, complete horseshit. That means they release it, they check to see if they like it, and if they like it, they leave it. If they don't like it, they remove it, tweak it, and put it back out there. That's what takes 2 or 3 weeks, human trial and error, to see if they like it, which I'm not blaming them for that. That's the way I would do it, of course. That's the way a programmer needs to do it. You release it. Did it work? No. Oh, there's a bug. You got to collect all the bugs. That's fine. I do blame them for being liars. I do blame them for, disenfranchising small businesses and helping poor companies and people in impoverished areas stay impoverished. I do blame them for all those things, but I don't blame them for being human beings and programming in a way a human being would. Anyway, so they say instead of doing all that, so there's the problems of being on the bleeding edge, is that you're going to bleed a bit, but you got to be there. If you want to be an advanced SEO, you have no choice but to ride the bleeding edge. If you want to rank in the most lucrative niches for the most lucrative clients, with the highest traffic, you have no choice but to live on the bleeding edge. That's the way it is, folks. Sorry. If you don't like being on the bleeding edge, go do another job. Go pay Google their internet tax, right? Buy ads on Google if you don't want to deal with doing it the SEO way. But we rank all day long, and we don't have to pay thousands of dollars a month for AdWords. We take that $1,000 a month for our budgets. That's SEO. That's how we do it. So instead, they say you need to work on creating good, fresh content that users want and following our guidelines. So there's 3 claims there, that if you make good content, if you make fresh content that users want, 3rd claim, and actually 4th claim, and you follow the guidelines, that you are going to improve your serving or improve your ranking. So let's break them down. Let's give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down if they are true or false. You have to create good content. Is that true? False. Entirely false. You don't need to make good content. You need to make content that the AI is looking for. You need to make relevant content. And so yes, good content should be relevant, but not all relevant content is good, and vice versa. So that's a completely false statement. That's so vague, I'll put it just directly in the false category. No, you don't want to make good content. Good is subjective. Good is an entirely subjective judgment. There could be a highly relevant affiliate page I go to that I think is the crappiest page ever, but it's still highly relevant to what I was trying to do. Or vice versa. It's highly relevant, but I still hate it because I hate all affiliate pages, or something along those lines. Qualitative judgments, like good or bad, are, of course, sadly, entirely subjective. And so for them to tell you to make a good content is so vague that, of course, it is criminal, is nearly criminal. I'm being hyperbolic, of course. It is one shade next to criminal. It's monopolistic, so it is criminal in that sense. So false, you don't want to make good content. You need to make relevant content. As far as humans see it? No, as far as the AI sees it. Yes, you want humans to convert, but that's an entirely different algorithm and an entirely different problem. So let's look at the second of these 4 claims. You want to make fresh content. So here's, Query Deserves Freshness, QDF. This is what the SEO industry thinks is a major ranking factor. Is it a major ranking factor? Survey says, no, it's not a major ranking factor. Again, maybe it'll get you 1 or 2 spots. Don't get me wrong, 1 or 2 spots are important, right? And if the more your query is date dependent, the more you matching that date is going to be important, but that's more of a semantic matching than it is a freshness matching. Freshness is a separate algorithm from semantics. QDF, is it a major ranking factor? No, it's not. We've scientifically tested it. It's really not. There's other way more major ranking factors you need to worry about. All right, and is it you need to make content that users want? Okay, well here we're getting into the CRO aspect of things and the quality panda aspect of things. And do you have to make content that users want? Is that a true statement? Survey says, bing, definitely, yes. You need to make content that users want. What that vaguism users want means, of course, Google, the kings and queens of vagueness, it means something very specific, so specific that you're gonna blow your mind when you join SEO University, and you can't fake it, and don't think you can, and yeah, so that's all I'll say about that. But if you know what it is, and we scientifically tested it. If you scientifically tested it, you know exactly what it is and what it's not and how to do it exactly. The world is your oyster for rankings. You can rank anywhere easily. I said that, yes. If you know the scientific parameters of exactly what users want and how they track that, you can rank anywhere, and we do, rank anywhere, anytime you want. It is the single most powerful ranking factor there is. Getting what users want, whatever that means. And we know exactly what it means in specific technical terms that are replicable, that I'll give to you and say, go do this, and you will do it, and then you will rank like crazy. And you'll say, Josh, I can't believe it. As many of my students do, check the Wins channel. You'll be like, I can't believe it. It works. I can be an SEO. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Email me at joshpashinsky@gmail.com and join SEO University. And finally, the last one, do you need to follow the guidelines? Well, he's talking about these guidelines here, the Webmaster guidelines they've had for a long time, the general guidelines, the content-specific guidelines, and the quality guidelines. Notice that content and quality are separated. Isn't that interesting? So I guess quality has nothing to do with content? An interesting concept. Is it true that you need to follow their guidelines? Survey says mixed bling. There's going to be plenty of stuff in there that's going to be true that you definitely need to do, but there's going to be stuff in there that you don't want to do or that you don't need to do either. So watch out for future episodes, and we will forensically look through these Google content guidelines and all the Webmaster guidelines, and we will find out whether there is Google truth or lies. So if you'd like to watch the next time, please subscribe and like. Email me if you're interested in Underground SEO University, and watch out for more episodes of Google Truth and Lies, where we separate Google truth from lies. See you next time.